So I'm going to do a quick little demonstration of what you should do to clean this pellet stove. First of all, every time you're going to use it, you need to clean out whatever this is called, the little pot from the previous. And you always want to do it when it's cold, and it'll dump down here. So you essentially pull this mechanism, all right? And then I like to put my finger down here and make sure it's all clear, and then you let it go. So any ashes from the previous burn will fall down into here. That needs to be cleaned every time you're going to use this stove, all right? And make sure this is closed. There are times when there could be some carbon or some burnt material, burnt pellets building up on this and can be difficult to pull out. Don't force it. Go in there and move the other piece with your hand down here. I know it's hard to see, but you can go in there and there's a plate. It slides, so don't force it. You could break the mechanism. Typically, it's not a big deal. Typically, it always works, but just be aware that that can jam up because of buildup on the bottom. And then, you can dump this as it gets full, all right? So I just wanted to review something again real quickly that I kind of might be a little hard to understand, is that let's just say it's a Tuesday and there's a lot of ash buildup in there, and you don't want too much ash buildup, but you haven't really run it that much. And so you don't think there's much buildup behind these panels. It's very easy to sit there and just open these things, these slots, and to push ash down into that area. They will fall into this, which you can clean out later. So that's just a quick, easy way when you start seeing a lot of ash buildup in there. Because you don't want a lot of ashes floating around in there, because then it'll go in the exhaust and it'll go into the chimney. The next thing I'm going to go over is the cleaning of the unit, which you should do about weekly, depending upon how much you use it during the week. And the first thing you're going to do is remove this top piece. And to do this, you have to pull up, pull this direction toward you, and it comes down, all right? And that's this piece. And it'll be dirty, and brush it out using a brush, all right? All right, and then set it aside. The next item is you're going to remove these two side plates. And to do that, you pull up and you go back with one and you pull it out. The other one, you do the same. You pull up, go back, and then you can come out. So you kind of gotta make it go catty corner, all right? And what you're going to do is you're going to then vacuum this all out. Now I know it's kind of hard to see because I didn't bring the light down here, and shame on me, but in this right corner, that's the chute, the exhaust. And what I like to do is put the vacuum in there and just run it for a while, because that'll suck up any ashes that have built up in there. I'm not going to show how long I run it, but typically I will turn it on and I'll walk away and either like clean the glass or something else, but I'll just let it run. So I let that run for probably a good 5 minutes. And as you can see, I got a little light, so hopefully you can see in there and see where that's inserted back there. But the one thing I forgot, and which is probably the first thing I do, is I adjust these, I move these upward slides. And what these slides do is they clean the pipes above that heat the exit hot air, all right? And when you do that, a lot of times ashes will fall down. And I also like to go in there with a brush and brush them, okay? And I'll even sometimes brush the sides a little bit to make sure I'm getting rid of all the dust that's maybe getting in the corners. And then I will vacuum again. Now another area that you need to clean is the window, and typically I'll vacuum all around. I'll grab some Windex or some glass cleaner and clean the glass. I didn't do that this time because typically I just replace the gasket and the glass is all nice and clean. But there'll be a lot of ash buildup and ashes will get here inside the gasket, and you want to vacuum that all out. So, but again, though, it's about once a week depending upon your usage. Don't use it, you can maybe go 2 weeks. Well, you'll start seeing the buildup in there, and you'll want to clean it. Now, there is one little trick that if you don't want to do a thorough cleaning, but you're starting to see the ashes build up, what you can do is you can, there's some slides in there that will allow you to brush the ashes down into the trough. And you would do that if, number one, you're too lazy to get the vacuum out, or you're just seeing it built up and you don't want to take everything apart. You just want to brush it in there. And that's definitely a way to clean it when there's just ash up buildup in this area. Now, once you've cleaned it all, you put it back together. And doesn't matter which side you use. These are interchangeable from right and left. But again, though, the procedure here, hopefully you can see, is you slide it in, you lift it up, and then it goes down. We'll do the other side. Put the back in first. Put it in these two slots. Lift up and lock it down. Now, a little trick sometimes when it gets a little awkward in there, I sometimes have these pulled up. Gives me a little bit more space to work down there to finagle those things into their slots. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. But the first time you'll go, what the heck's going on here? And one other point, I guess now that it's almost forgot. Then you got to put the plate in. Now this is a little bit tricky. If you want to install it to the right side. Okay. It's not centered. It's to the right side. Oops. I had it in backwards. Notice the lip. This big lip goes on the bottom. So you put it in there, and you have a bias to the right side. Push it up and let it slide back down. So you're pushing it up and then slide down. You'll see it'll hook in. And see, if you notice, it's not centered. There's a gap over here for the airflow, no gap over here. Again, though, kind of tricky to hook in there, but once you do it a couple times, it's no big deal. All right, well, hopefully this helps you out just a little on how to clean your pellet stove.